Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Minus watching the tech and coding channel MyCodeWorks. So guys, in this video we are going to continue with our rest assured tutorial series where we'll see today the get request with the non-BDD style, and we are going to use builder pattern. So yeah, let's get started with the things. So if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click on bell icon for more updates. So we are going to use non-BDD style and request builder pattern. So what is that? Basically, let me talk about that. So basically, in previous video we saw that we used BDD style method, right? So where we used given, then as a we can say that method chaining one, right? But now we are going to use as a builder pattern for style, and then we are not going to use the BDD way. We are going to use as well as also we are not going to use static things. We are going to be the normal one, not with the static one. So if I say that here we are not going to implement the method chaining here, right? So no method chaining, as will store somewhere and will get the data, and again we'll perform the things and prepare the header request, right? Request body to send the data. So we are going to use a request specification interface, which where we can set the headers, cookies, and everything, whatever you want, authentication and all we can set in that. So it's basically we are preparing a request to send a particular API endpoint. So using this interface we can prepare that one. We'll see how to use this one. And so we are going to use the we are going to store the response, whatever response we'll get from the API endpoint, and we are going to process the things, right? So after that we can assert whatever assertion we can use with the validatable response. So validatable response will be there that we can use. Response interface is there, we can use that one to validate the things. And after that, if I say, let's go a little back on second. So we are going to again, as you know that rest assured method supports these many methods, right? Like these are the HTTP methods: get, post, put, delete, and patch, head, and options. So these are the HTTP methods that rest assured supports, and we are going to work on these methods, not today, but we are working as of now on get method, but remaining will make videos on that and we'll see. So basically this rest assured whatever class HTTP method, these are the methods HTTP method. These methods all return type as a response. So response kind of is an interface which have all the response contains every details received from the API endpoint. So we'll see everything in directly on code. So let's directly jump into the Eclipse and we'll start. So again, what I'm going to do today, let's go with the this one, request response.in. So if you see here, we have single user where we are getting one particular user. We are going to validate this email of this user and the status code response as 200 using builder pattern and non-BDD style. So let's get started. So I will create a method, public void get single user underscore verify status and email. So this is the test case name I just wrote as a method name. Let's mark this as a test so that we can run this method directly using test engine. So I mark this method as a test, and then we are going to go with the non-BDD and builder pattern. So builder pattern, basically we are going to build the request. Okay, so how we are going to build the request? Using request specification. So as of now already we are using BDD style, right? Let me comment this method. Let me comment this method, and I will also comment this one. So this method I have commented out. I will remove this static from here, as well as we are going to work with non-static. How to use with non-static, right? So I will remove this all. Let me save it, and then let me go little down. What I can do is I will just request specification. Let me check specification is there or not. Request. Okay, let's check once. Request request specification. So it's interface we are going to use with request. I will make this as a request, and rest assured dot given. So if I say that this given, as it's saying that specification, we have imported request specification from rest assured dot specification, and if you see that this given is returning a type of request specification interface. If you see here, if I hover on it, it is returning what? It's returning as a start building the request part of the test IO rest assured specification. For example, given this, we can set the parameters and set the post, whatever parameters we can set, like body, headers, authentication, and a lot of things we can set the, and then it will return as a request specification, right? So now we have request where we can set the base URI, request dot base URI or path we can set directly. So let's put the base URI from here. I will use this one, request this slash. So we are going to test this single user, right? So let's copy this API endpoint slash copy and then paste it. We set the, just now we, what we did, we just set the URI for the request where it will trigger or hit the API endpoint, right? Now we are going to use response as an interface. Let's restore in response, and then we are going to directly hit the get method. So request dot get. So if you see here, if I write the request dot get method, it is returning me what? Response, type response, right? If you see that, if I directly double click on this, it will return as a type of response, right? So response, if you see, returns the response of the get request. So this response contains everything. So this response contains headers, body, status line, status code, everything, right? So now we are going to do what? We are going to store this and we'll print something, right? Let's check whether string, if I say response as a string, then we can put this response as a string or pretty string, both the things are correct. We can use this one. Now let's print out sys out, and this, let's print this rest string. Okay, so we can get the data and we can print it, the data, what data we are getting. Now let's the time to validate the data. So time to validate the data. Now what we are going to do, we are going to get the data, get the body and validate the things. First thing, as the test case mentioned that we are going to validate verify status and email, so we are going to validate the status. So for that we need to store the particular response in validatable response. As I will tell you, this interface provides a lot of methods to get the things, right? Validatable response, DATAB, we have validatable response. Let's say, okay, so I will make in this data as a response as a response dot then. So then if you see, if I write then, right, then it is returning validatable response, which will contain all the method to get the data from the body or the request response, right? So now I will validate status. So response dot status code. The status code should be 200, first thing. The second thing is email. Response dot body having what? If I say body having, if I just make it pretty print, so this is the body of the response, and inside that we have data, and inside that we have email. So I want that email should be this one. The API response should contain this email, right? So I can say that body, no, not body directly, it will return as a data dot email. If I say directly data dot email, then I should get the, so I need to check. Let's use this matchers to compare the things, right? Matchers dot contains, we can use this contains string, we can use this contain string, and inside this we can pass this email. So this should be closed. Okay, now we are able to validate the email also, and as well as status codes. Let's run this and check whether we are able to validate the particular endpoint or not. So I will run this code directly from this one, run method or run command, and let's see whether it's passing or not. Okay, so we'll see the console. In console we are printing the data, response data as a string. We should also get that data in this console one, and we should also able to validate the data coming from the API endpoint. So it's taking little time, and then let's see what is returning. As you can see, we got data. So whatever data you used to get, right, we got it from here. So it returned me that the Janet Weber request dot in same email, and then status code is 200. That's why we are able to see that its test number of tests run is 1 and it passed, right, 1. So successfully we are able to get the response from the API endpoint. As you can see that I haven't used a lot of things here, as it's just a get method or get request we are doing. But when we move to the post method, post HTTP method, then we will see how to pass the variable parameters to API endpoint, how to pass the authentication or username password. Lot of things we'll see, and we'll see how we use effectively this builder pattern style to pass the data to the API endpoint and get the response and validate the things. So that's all for today video, and we are able to get the response and validate using non-BDD style, because it's non-BDD and we are storing the things and we are checking the things, right, as well as builder pattern style. So that's all for today video. Let's move to next method in as a post method in next video. We'll see. And that's all. If you get any doubt, please let me know in comment section. I will try to help you out. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, please do subscribe and click on bell icon for more updates.